Hi guys, February has a few days less in its month, so maybe it's a good time to make the video how to stay rolling. Every month we release our ISOs, and every month we tell you what's new and how to stay rolling, because ArcoLinux, right, is a rolling release, and that's the last one you've got from me, right? And we usually take the ArcoNet. It has a lot of applications, but we could also use the ArcoPlasma. Arco Pro is a little bit less, right? But Plasma is probably, why not take this one, 3.24 or 3.66. I do remember that in this month there was an update of Plasma. So by exception, right? Normally we do the ArcoNet. By exception, let's take another one. And the only thing you need to remember is always the same thing when you update. Are the keyrings okay? The ArcoLinux keyrings. So first of all, we have to get something that's way back. And way back means if this is the ISO February, it's like the 20th of January that the ISO was built. Then we test it for a week on AAG, and then we test it first and then later on AAG like that, and then we release. So first of all, I'm gonna install like it used to be a month and a half or so ago, and then update. And that's the thing about stay rolling. We don't do a reinstall or a 6-month release like Ubuntu or Linux Mint. We on Arch, right? ArcoLinux is Arch, is 90% Arch, 5% Arco, 5% AOR. That's how you should look at it. And yeah, 95% comes from somewhere else, and somebody else. Let's update the system, but first let's, like I said, go back. And what is go back? You can do an online installation, an advanced, which means you get immediately all the new packages. If the internet is okay, the firewall is okay, etc., right? Lots of variables why things don't work online, because it is online, right? So we're gonna go for an offline installation. Install grub is good. And what you're looking at is the old version back then, as you see, right? The old version. He's complaining. Belgian, next, erase, no swap, you choose. We still have a lot of things to choose from, so investigate a little bit, ask around, ask ChatGPT and friends, and see what they recommend. Basically, they search the internet for you and see what comes out of it, and then make up your own mind, right? It's always the same thing. It's choices, choices, choices. All right, let's wait for this thing to, voila, do its job. Then we boot up. Let's do a quick ISO. This is interesting to remember. So it's created on January the 19th, where almost, well, yeah, a month ago, right? 25, 23, voila, okay. So a month of updates is a lot of software updates on Arch. It's so much less on Ubuntu or Linux Mint, for example. I have these SSDs here, I pop them in, and I update and I say it's only that, right? It's only that. Maybe you're wondering, what is he doing? He's popping in what? And how can he have ArcoLinux, ArcoLinux, anything on the same machine? It's really visible and visual here. Guys, buy a bay, right? Probably gonna work as well with laptops, but you know, laptops is so much smaller. A desktop is so interesting. I mean, you can just get your screwdriver, open it up, put it in, and just that is documented in the video. You are at home where I live, explaining you how I put everything in there, right? So that was fun on a sunny day. Enfin, guys, it's a super thing to do. I mean, the only thing you do is switch out SSDs. It's Windows 11 gaming, it's Windows 11 work, it's Linux X or Linux Y or Linux Z, right? You just pop it in, you boot up, and you can't mix it, you can't break anything. Just an idea, just a thought. If you're gonna buy a desktop, think about adding that to the thing, to the machine, so you can switch and play safe. All right, let's wait for the installation. All right, it's finished. Maybe I should use the opportunity to tell you guys that this has a lot of information, the necessary information about our 3 ISOs. Well, 4 is Arco install, which is a separate one. But in here, you'll get all the Calamares information you need, what's going to happen, and also important, very important, use the easy installation if the advanced installation fails, right? People tell us, Eric, this fails. You don't know how many variables, parameters need to be correct in order for everything to work, right? But we keep it in. You voted for it. You wanted to have an online installation. It's in there. It stays in there. But remember yourself, or remind that it's important to know if this fails, you just go offline. Everything works. As you see, it installs offline. It's just a bit and a byte that goes to the other system, your future system. And then later on, you use SophieRAM, you use ArcoLinux TweakTool, you use AKM, the kernel manager, right? And do your thing. Or, more importantly, more fun, use your own scripts to remove things, to install things, and we're booting up with Linux CachyOS kernel. Another thing, right? Choices. Get rid of it. Get rid of Linux kernel. Have the Linux LTS, maybe Linux Xenod. It's all possible. Just a few scripts that we already have, right? Play with it. All right, auto start. We know what this is. We know when to skip that, and then we get this update. So this video is about updating. Ctrl-Alt-T. Again, right, the ISO, or also very important to know, sudo use. Gives you a lot of information about your system. But then you see these lines, right? You see these lines because we did not update yet. So update it is. The databases come in, and we know we've made a video about this, right? We'll have to live with that for a while. But not next ISO, right? Look at that, 2 GB in 30-ish days, right? We have 2 GB of downloads and only 21 megabytes of difference. But it's of course important if you have not that much bandwidth, or a very slow internet, or an intermittent internet, right? Or even electricity that you don't have, right? It depends where you live, and you choose for the distro that has maybe the least amount of bandwidth. It's entirely up to you. Now, one thing is interesting. Sometimes I tell you that there is this skel thing or backup skel thing. There are several aliases, so guys, go through the list. It's just too long, right? Go through the list. It's a long list, and all the major things that you need are in here. All the major files are in here. All the fixes are in here, right? So just have a look at that. Ctrl-T. We can do a backup skel, right? What happens? Oh, that's my mistake. What happens is if we do Ctrl-H here and move you over here in the corner, and we type backup skel, something happens, right? We get this. This is the content of etc skel, root, etc skel, and we put it in a folder. When we do our update, some things in etc skel will change, and so many other things as well somewhere else, right? It's just one folder. Now take a look at all these names, except SophieRAM, which I saw here, which is ArcoLinux, right? All of these things are basically Arch. Here is a small bit of till here, till there, till here. This is a small bit of ArcoLinux. Look at the size, the sheer amount of software coming in, and the few lines that we have. I'd say 98% is Arch, right? So we update. If you think this is too slow, what is this doing? Control C. You can stop and you can tell to Pacman. So I'll do a clear. You can tell to Pacman and Pacman, I'm living in Belgium. That means my parallel downloads can be at least 18, but why not 28 as well, right? You decide the number that's there. But look what happens if we do it like this. We get a lot of Pacmans, right? Little C and C and small c and big C, right? Capital C, and voila. And it goes on. In the beginning, the big files, the big chunks, and later on it goes super fast. When we are halfway, you'll see that the Pacmans are really eating up all the cheese or whatever. Getting 1/3, 1/4, and we're halfway there. They're all small files, so it just goes very quickly near the end. Then the big guys: Linux kernel, Plasma workspace, Linux firmware, and off we go. Keyring. If we see the word keyring, you know what I'm gonna say, right? You know what I'm gonna say. Remember the words. At some time, if there's an issue with keys, you do ArcoLinux keyring. That's the key from ArcoLinux. Okay. Install it again. We have this great little alias, basically, which points to a script to fix the key. Go for it. Another thing if you have key problems. But for the rest, we don't see any issues. And yes, we do tell you to update in the terminal. Keep looking at code, names, what is happening. I have Dolphin, what is Dolphin? Partition manager, what's that? Right, learn the Lego blocks, as I like to call them. Arch is nothing more than lots of packages, pieces of a puzzle. You can build anything with Arch. Then a nice set of configs, icons, wallpapers, themes. Voila, and it becomes your system. Well, nothing to tell you, I guess. What is Yakuake? What is Yay? Right? Figure all that out. Learn all those names. What is System D? What's Sublime Text? What's Spectacle? Great tool, actually. Here is SophieRAM. What's SophieRAM? And yes, we're on Plasma, so a lot of Plasma stuff. What's the power devil? Do we have a devil in our machine? Have a look. DuckDuckGo it. What is power devil? Linux firmware stuff. Back. If we want to go back, right? You're scrolling up, press space, and you're at the bottom. Or scroll. While we're waiting, we can have some fun. Right. There is a profile built in. Create new profile. I'm gonna call it Awesome Profile. right? Doesn't matter. And then you can make it bigger, more columns, more rows. Have fun with it. Tabs, appearance. That's why we're here, right? Arc dark maybe. So I've changed it now. Edit, blur the background, a little bit transparency. Let's apply it. A little bit darker, apply it. Yep, sure. Apply it again. These are all the colors. Randomly adjust the colors. Each session. Randomly apply. Or just this bluish look. Have fun, right? Design your system. I don't think it's blurred. Might be the virtual machine. Or I might have forgotten it. So current profile, appearance, edit, blur background. Then it's probably VirtualBox. Alright, done. I can do my backup skel again. Oops, I pressed the button that is zooming in. Oh my god, I have to get out of here. So backup skel, can I type this here? Oh no, I can't get out. This is not amusing. You'll be laughing on the other end. But no, this is not fun. Not fun at all. Restart. Restart. Oh, some kind of key combo that is default on Plasma to actually zoom in if you can't visually impaired, which I'm probably becoming more and more. Oh no. Oh no, we need to figure out how to get rid of this thing. Now it's set as visual impaired. How do I do that? What key combo was that? Damn. Oh my god. Shall I pause the video and figure this out? Because what am I doing, right? What am I doing? But maybe I find it quickly. Let's see. I would go and look into scroll over it. Accessibility. Oh, I guess not. No. Then I'll better pause it. Or I go for the keyboard shortcut and figure that out. The shortcut might be a good idea to actually look for that. Shortcuts. Meta Alt S. Meta Alt S. Did I press that button? Might have. But that's a screen reader, Eric. That's nothing. Switch display. Yeah. Oh, look at that, right? Nope, not that either. Keyboard. No. Something about zooming maybe. View. Kwin. Zoom in, zoom out. Meta minus. That's here. Oh, there it is. So that's plus and that's minus. All right. So I think accidentally pressed super minus, super plus, which gave us this, and then I was in a big problem, right? Figure it out. So like I wanted to do one more thing, and that's backup skel here. So home, we have one skel here. before the updates, and after the updates I do another one. And if I have Meld installed, I can melt it, right? So I haven't. Super, I'll create or something else. Sudo pacman -s meld. Now maybe you like what my packages, and what is my packages? Velo. Velo is part of the word development, and it will install Meld as well as Tunar, Archive plugin, Volman here, simple screen recorder, and VLC as well. Yeah, VLC as well. Powerful control is there. So choices I've made, Velo, right? Okay, if you want. So this one needs to be melded. It's a nice word. It needs to be melded. So we use the application Meld in a folder, make it a bit smaller. So before the update and after the update. That's it. We don't want to see what's the same. We want to see what's different. And I've changed something for Niri, I think, but also chat.m with a capital C. At some point in time there was a capital C, so that's done. And here we have Hyperland, which has been removed, I guess, because this is the new one, right? This is the new one. Before, after, before, left, after. So I've added something here for Niri. That's it. Thought as much. Voila. Done. And we've done some lines to MT. So MTTY. We can enable that. Same here. And fish is not installed, but fish is the same key binding. Alright, that's all we've changed in these, well, for Plasma anyway, for the updates. So basically, we're good. Ctrl-T, we have a system, a beautiful system, working. There's one thing we haven't done. Well, this, for instance, that's another thing we haven't done. And again, right, have fun with making a awesome profile and switch to it and make it your default. All you have to say is make it your default. Here I switched here, right? Edit current, default profile, done. So next time around it's there as well. A little bit bigger. We've made a video about this. -s reborn OS keyring and reborn OS mirror list. Sure. And that's it. It's the same thing, it's the same keyring, same package. So if you don't mind, you just keep it there. It's exactly the same content, just another number, that's it. So if we do update now, it's nice, up all as well. If you have any AOR packages, they will be built. I wanted to say something else and I don't know anymore. I was thinking about showing, right, what we haven't done is a skel. Skel is this. Read about skel. It's specific. It's something we have. It can be a blessing. It can be a curse. In TWMs, when it's crashing, it's your backup, right? It is what it is. It is your backup. Now, in the case of Plasma, I don't mention it, because if you go to the root and you go to etc skel, it's a choice we've made a few years ago, I think already. That's it. That's all it gets. But if you go and study up, you see there's no file about Plasma. There is nothing in here. We have not touched plasma configuration ever, unless you install via Calamaris online version, etc. Then you can add packages. But the default one, the easy installation, it's pure plasma. And yes, we have some settings here, but no, not about plasma as such. So there's no need to do skel unless you saw the files in the folders there. Unless you want to have those, then you say yes, right? Or you do it gradually, right? I want to kill you, my friend. Can't I kill you? Control C, exit, killed. So unless I was saying, if you do this and do another one, let's do another one, put them next to each other. It's maybe also a good way of thinking is say, okay, let's get to etc skel and see what I want, right? Do I want the config? Do I want this? What's in there, by the way? It should be removed by, right? This is an auto start for so many desktops, and plasma doesn't matter. So this is auto start, yep, go up. So here we have our settings at this moment in time. This is new, but you saw for what? It's new for Neri. This is not Neri, right? This is plasma. So who cares? Make your own decisions this way, or just type skel. Have fun updating, have fun making plasma your own thing, or XFCE, or Xmonad, or BSPWM, or lately Neri, right? Cheers.